Hi, thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video. I know your time is precious, so I will keep this as succinct as I can. My name is Ryan Barba. I'm the Director of High School Youth Ministry in Natick, Massachusetts, a graduate of Assumption College for my undergrad, and then I got my MBA at Cornell, graduating in 2011. I've been the Director of Youth Ministry at the Natick Collaborative, or St. Patrick's at the beginning, for over 10 years now, minus the 2 years I left town for Cornell. And in that time, I've done a lot of different things. My youth group has always been very retreat-centric, so we hold 1 or 2 full weekend retreats a year. Then we do go off and do community service. We go to Steubenville East every summer, and a lot of different things in between. But in my career in youth ministry, which has now taken me around the Boston Diocese to a lot of different parishes where I'm running retreats, as well as up to upstate New York, there's been one event that's really inspired me more than any other, and that is the Hunger for Justice retreat in Lynn, Massachusetts. And I want to tell you a little bit about what that is, because we kind of want to model what they're doing and bring it to the West region, which is what this video is all about. So here's what they do in Lynn at St. Mary's Parish. Basically, they get about 350 kids together starting Good Friday afternoon. And they keep them together until late Saturday afternoon, at which point they send the youth groups back to their home parishes to attend the Easter Vigil. During that time, the kids start off at the Nahant Beach, where they have some opening prayers and ceremonies. Then they have a big cross that they together walk back to St. Mary's Parish, participate in veneration of the cross and other Good Friday services, and then have their Last Supper for the event. And that starts a 24-hour food and technology fast that the attending teens participate in. So that starts their fast. After dinner, they have some icebreakers, a talk by a priest. Then they watch The Passion of the Christ, obviously a difficult movie to watch. Have another talk to kind of conclude things, and then go to bed. And basically what they do is they lay on cardboard on the floor, guys separated from the girls, of course, and that's where they sleep for the night. So the idea of the event is simplicity and sacrifice. So they get up the next morning, they open with a prayer service, and then all the students are bussed off to different locations around the area to conduct community service projects. And they do everything from soup kitchens to homeless shelters to raking leaves at orphanages and everything in between. They come back to Lynn for a closing event, and then, as I mentioned, the youth groups go back to their home parishes for the Easter Vigil. It's phenomenal. It's really impressive. It's really holy. And the good that these kids do and the enthusiasm that they bring this event has been such an inspiration on me. And so the way that they raise money for this is the teens will go out and ask for sponsorship per hour fasted. So almost like a walkathon or a runathon, whatever they're called, where you're sponsored per mile walked. For this event, they are sponsored per hour that they fast, right? So I'm so inspired by this event, as I mentioned, and they're able to get about 350 kids from the Lynn area and some surrounding neighborhoods. So I've been thinking, why not try to bring something like this to the West region? Right? We can add our own flair and twist it our own way, but Lynn is really far from those of us in the West region, and I think the St. Mary event is near capacity. So why not try to model their success and do something similar in the West region? Right? So I've floated the idea loosely around some parishes and priests and other youth ministers, and the idea started to gain momentum, and we've decided that we're going to try to do this. We're going to hold our first event that we're going to call Abide 2018, starting on Good Friday. We're going to hold it at a parish in Lexington, and we're going to model it after what they do in Lynn. So as I mentioned, we're going to add our own twists and our own flair to kind of make it our own. So for example, we're going to start our event a little bit later. They start theirs early afternoon. We're going to start ours around 5 o'clock. We've been told by some priests that they would love it if the teens could stay involved in the parish for the afternoon Good Friday activities and then go to Abide after. We like that idea, so we're going to do that. We're going to start around 5. We'll have our Last Supper around 5:30, have some icebreakers, some talks. We will watch The Passion of the Christ, and then we're going to move our veneration of the cross until after the Passion. We're going to add a musical component, do it in the dark, try to make it as powerful as we can, and then also offer confession Friday night. In Lynn, they do that on Saturday in Boston. We're going to try to do ours Friday night, and then end with kind of a praise and worship component, like a Steubenville East-esque idea, which I know is something I always enjoy and that my students have always enjoyed. Saturday, we'll start with our own prayer service, and then just as they do in Lynn, we'll wheel up the buses and we'll send individual groups off across the area to conduct community service for most of the day. Come back to Lexington around 3 o'clock-ish. We're still finalizing the schedule. And I want to add some youth talk components, which has always been my personal retreats, made my personal retreats really successful, to have kind of that youth leadership. So we'll have that component, have some type of closing ceremony, and then send the individual youth groups off back to their parishes for their individual Easter vigils like they do in one. So this event brings so much together in just a 30-hour event, right? So obviously it includes the service component. So giving high school teens the opportunity to serve those in need. It includes obviously the opportunity for those teens to grow in faith, right? I know when I'm bringing students to Steubenville East or to a retreat for the first time, seeing their excitement when they experience something powerful like this in this close encounter with the Lord is always so emotional and so moving. Third, it allows us to kind of acknowledge Good Friday and get high school teens involved in one of the holiest days of the year and participating in liturgical services like the veneration of the cross that the church takes very seriously. So getting teens to kind of see that and participate in that where they might not. And then more broadly, just concluding Lent with a bang, right, or with passion. I always know, or I always feel, and maybe this is just me, that by the time the end of Lent kind of rolls around, I always kind of reflect and think, well, did I do enough to kind of acknowledge the holiness of this time of year? And oftentimes I have to admit my answer is no. I wish I did more to kind of acknowledge Lent. And this is a way to kind of end Lent with power, right? Leading up to Easter, really do some good leading up to Easter. And then next, the money that the students raise will not just go toward funding the event itself, but will also go toward Catholic charities, right? So any quote-unquote profits that are generated from this event will go to charities like Haley House and Cor Unum and a few others that we're still identifying. But there's the opportunity to not only do good that day through service to others, but raise money that will continue to fund Catholic charities well after the event takes place. And then finally, it will encourage involvement of students within their parishes, as well as community across parishes in the West region. Right? In speaking to other youth ministers in the region, we feel that there's an opportunity for more collaboration. Right? Working together more, getting our youth groups together, get them communicating and working together to do some good in the community and getting to know each other. And I think this event is a way to do that. And there's so many other benefits too, right? I mean, today, high school students who are making their confirmation or trying to get into an honor society, or in some schools even graduate, they need community service hours. This is a great way to give them that opportunity. I also know there's a lot of parishes that don't have a youth ministry group yet and want to. And there are youth ministers who are seeking ways to kind of bring kids together or strengthen their youth ministry groups. I think this is a great way to do that. Right, when I was trying to build youth ministry groups in the past, I'd always bring my soon-to-be group to Steubenville East, right? And they'd have that emotional experience together, that prayerful experience together. And that was always a great way to start a youth group. I think this event can do the same thing. And it doesn't require that you drive up to Lowell for 3 days in the middle of the summer, which is hard for some people, right? It's shorter, it's more succinct, it's in the middle of the year. So I think it has that potential to help those who are trying to build or, again, strengthen their high school youth groups in their parishes or their Catholic schools. And as I mentioned, the collaboration between parishes, I think, is such an opportunity and one, again, that I'm really excited about. So if you're a director of religious education or a youth minister or a wannabe youth minister, either at a church or a parish or somebody else who has aspirations to build something like a youth ministry group or strengthen your youth ministry group, I encourage you to reach out to us. Let us know you're interested. Maybe start spreading the word, planting that seed with your teens. If you're a high school Catholic student, please consider attending Abide 2018. It's our first one, so you can't go out and ask other people how it is. So I know there's an inherent risk there. You don't know what you're getting into, but give it a try. I promise you we're going to try our best to make this really powerful. And again, it's an opportunity to do some good and end Lent with a bang and with power, right? And if you're anybody else who might be interested in acting as a volunteer and helping us to organize Abide 2018, we need all the help we can get. So please, for all of you watching this video, if you want some more information, want to express some interest, have some questions, our email address is abideconference2018@gmail.com. Again, that's abide, A-B-I-D-E, conference 2018@gmail.com. Or you can visit our very simple website where you can find some more information and download the forms that you need at abide2018.com. The other thing that's available to you is I and Luke Del Vecchio, who's helping me organize this, are available to come and speak to your students starting in September. So whether you're a member of a parish or a Catholic school or, again, any other Catholic organization where teens are active or potentially active, we are happy to come and talk a little bit more about this event and answer questions that you or your teens may have. So thank you again for giving me your time. Hope this is of interest to you. We're really excited about it, and we would just love to get you involved. God bless.